Hey guys, it's Alyssa. After the last video I posted, I just think that maybe it's time I shared a little bit more about myself with you guys. Okay, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna break up this video, if I'm gonna put it all into one video, if I'm gonna break it up into two videos. I honestly had like a thought in my head of how it is that I want to share this video, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it just has to happen. A few years ago, I was working, I'm not gonna say where, but okay. So where I started working, initially, there was a various populations, combined into one program. When you go to programs, it's kind of like that, but seeing as where I'm from, young Caucasian males that use opiates, that's pretty much just like, that's the easiest client for me, I'm gonna say, or it was anyway, the easiest client for me, it's what I was used to. And me being young myself, I was able to connect with them, and talk to them, and to me it was like there was nothing to it. It was like they would sit down and just talk. And so when I left that first job, went to another job, it was a completely different population, completely different, different substances. It was different age group. It was interesting. It really was. And I was able to become a little bit more seasoned, and I was able to say like, all right, I feel comfortable working with different kinds of clients. So I went to another place, and it was kind of like the same thing. I mean, it was very much, it was a different atmosphere, where I was able to kind of take what it is that I learned and really put it to the test. And then I met a client, and he fit into the mold of my easiest type of client. He was young. He was Caucasian. He was, he was that client for me, and he was also really nice. He was very nice. A lot of people, like, I would introduce myself and be like, hi, I'm Melissa, I'm your new counselor, and they were just like, okay. Didn't care. They didn't care at all. They were just like, whatever, like, you're here, we'll meet, do whatever. This client, his name is Nick. He came over. He was like, hey, I'm Nick. I'm on your caseload, and I wanted to introduce myself, and I know you have a lot going on at your first week, and I want you to get situated. I want you to see how you like this job, whatever, before I just jump in. So I was like, you could sit down, we'll talk, whatever. He was like, no, it's no problem. But then he ended up staying at my door for like 15 minutes, and he was like telling me that he wasn't from around the area, and that he didn't really know a lot of people, and so it ended up that we hit it off, like he would come, he would sit down, we would talk, he would be with me for hours. Most of the clients didn't care to see me. They were just like, oh my God, Alyssa, please, I want to go. And he wanted to sit, he wanted to talk. We would talk about everything. He would tell me about his mom. He would tell me about his sister, about his grandmother. He told me about his father who had passed. He told me about his upbringing. He told me about his friends. He was telling me about his living situation, and it was a lot. Like, it really was a lot. He would sit with me for hours, and it was refreshing. Where I was, the program that I worked for, that's not what it was about, you know? It was, you were in, you were out. And he wasn't like that. And we were so close in age. Most of the people who were at that program, they were older. They were like much older. Some of them would, be grandparents or great grandparents. And it was interesting to talk to them, but it was very, this is what I'm here for. This is what you could do for me. This is your role. This is my role. And he wasn't like that. He was open. He was very honest. And it was kind of like a breath of fresh air. And for anybody who works in the social service field, especially in the addiction field, it is really hard. There's not a lot of people who are memorable. Like, when I think about clients, it's like off the top of my head, I could think of a handful where I could say, like, okay, this person made me feel like I was doing something, they made me feel as if my work was worth it, because working in this field is very difficult. It's very difficult. There's a lot that you go through, a lot that you deal with, and it could be very, very difficult emotionally, mentally, for a lot of people. So I didn't really work with him for long. I started with the program in like March or April. But in that little bit of time, we spent a lot of time together, and it was nice. It was. In August of that year, he ended up committing suicide. And I knew something was not right, because he didn't come in, and I was just like, where's Nick? And I had a good friend who worked at that program with me, and I was like, where's Nick? I saw him on Friday. I told him to come see me on Monday. I told him he better not miss out. He better come see me. And the last conversation we had, I was like, see me on Monday, be here at 11, we're gonna talk, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk. And he was like, I'll be here. And I was like, all right. I was like, please call me. He told me he was gonna go to Long Island okay, so I didn't want to say, it doesn't matter, I didn't want to say where, but so I worked in Brooklyn, and his family was in Long Island, and he said he was gonna go see his mom, he was gonna see his sister, see his grandmother, and I was like, all right, well, have a good weekend, I'll see you on Monday. So Monday rolls around, he didn't come. Went to my coworker, I was like, oh, he's not here, he didn't come in. My coworker was like, yeah, you know how he is, like, he probably had something to do, he probably, whatever it was. And I was just like, okay. I was like, well, he better be in tomorrow, like, I need to see him, I need to talk to him. And I found out, I can't even remember what day, but I ended up finding out that he had passed. And I was shocked, And I was sad because that was the first client that I lost. And, you know, it's something that you hear, especially working in the addiction field. You know, it's very much, you know, you lose a client from an overdose, and it's sad. And the relationship that he and I had, it was really sad. I was just like, oh no, you know, what about his mom? What about his sister, his grandmother? You know, they don't have his father. Now they're not gonna have him. Like, it was just really, it was sad. And so I spoke to my coworker, who was also, he was like a senior counselor. And I said, you know, I want to make sure everything's okay. And so he said, okay, see if you could find somebody, you know, like, see if you can, like, they couldn't give me the information from the job, you know, they couldn't give me the number or whatever. And we didn't have it. We didn't have the family's number anyway. But they said, you know, see if you could reach out to them. And then I knew his name, and I knew his sister's name. So I looked for her, and I found her. I think it was like Facebook. I don't even know. And I reached out to her, and I told her who I was, and I said, you know, I just want to check in on you. I want to check in on your mom. I hope everything's okay. And she told me, yeah, you know, everything's good. You know, we're upset, but you know, he was really struggling, and he was going through a lot. And I was like, yeah. And then fast forward, I don't even, it was just like a few weeks, and his sister, I can't remember if I reached out to her or she reached out to me, and then I found out that he didn't overdose. I found out that he committed suicide, and okay, so you know what, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna break this up into 2 videos. I'm gonna post, I'll post this, and I'll record the other video, and I'll post it the next day. Thank you guys.